All right, guys, everyone's talking about Chris Paul and if he's going to be traded or not. So use hashtag CP3 to get your Chris Paul questions on the show. We'll go through any CP3 question you got, but make sure you use the hashtag. That's how producer Tad is actually able to find them. First up from Supreme Entertainment, talking about the banana boat. Can the Lakers get Chris Paul?
Cap-wise, Tom, you're going to have to fill me in on that. Can they actually make that happen?
Let me run it through. If you include everyone that they sign, I think it's close. Hold on.
Okay, so...
All right, so Green...
What I know
KCP,
would have to happen is they'd have to wait.
JaVale, Avery Bradley.
Oh,
I'm
Lord
I'm adding the math up here. Quinn Cook. That trade gets you... that works. All right, if you do Danny Green and KCP and JaVale McGee and Avery Bradley and I think Quinn Cook too, it works out. You might actually be able to keep Quinn Cook as well.
So in other words... No, it's not going to happen. And if it does, it wouldn't happen until about December 15th. Because you have to wait a while to actually trade those guys that you just signed.
And frankly, the Thunder, A, don't want that deal.
Nope.
B, the Lakers don't want that deal either.
Nope.
Yeah, so the money does not work out very well in the end for LA. All right, Smiley Face Lancer, can CP go back to the Clippers?
I actually mentioned this before the show.
Yeah, you did mention this.
Because, look, on paper, as a fit, it actually makes some sense. But in all reality, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I would rather have Patrick Beverley on that team than Chris Paul if I were the Los Angeles Clippers. You have a defensive-minded point guard in Pat Bev, a guy that fits in nicely with a team that's already defensive-minded. You just don't need Chris Paul, and I don't know even what they would end up giving up.
I'm trying to make a trade package here. It's tough. You could do Patrick Beverley, Mo Harkless, Lou Williams, and Jerome Robinson.
That's a lot.
That's way too much. The money is really tough here, guys. That's the main thing. Chris Paul's contract is $38.5 million. Any deal, the Thunder pretty much have to get back 125% and $100K of what they're shipping out. So, like, the money side of it is they have to get around the $31 million mark. That's really tough to actually do.
Yeah, I don't think it gets done.
That's the problem there. All right, Deshaun Gardano, he says a reunion. I probably botched that. I'm sorry. He says a reunion with Blake in Detroit.
I don't think Blake and Chris Paul want to play together again, but...
Good point.
That would actually be a good, that would be good. I think that would be actually work out pretty well because you just signed Derrick Rose. How much does that really help you? You have Reggie Jackson. I think you can make it work money-wise eventually, but I don't think
you have to wait 2 months. You can do Reggie Jackson, Langston Galloway, and Tony Snell for CP3.
And that's 2 expirings and a decent
contract,
young player in Tony Snell. I actually like that. I just don't think Blake Griffin wants to play with Chris Paul.
I don't know if Detroit wants to do that either, frankly. All right, Indigo the Demigod. Should Chris Paul just retire and just focus on his State Farm commercial?
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good idea for him. Go sell some more insurance and maybe play in the Big Three and just dominate there like Joe Johnson is right now.
All right, question for you guys as more CP3 questions roll in. What's the best movie you've seen recently? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
Oh, man, that is a tough question. I'm trying to think.
Do you even go to the movies?
I do. Why do you think I don't do things, Tom? I do things.
Because you're lame.
What is the most recent movie I've seen?
See, I don't think you've seen a movie recently.
I did. I just went to the movie.
Tad, what'd you see recently? Spider-Man. I loved Spider-Man. Such a great movie.
Toy Story 4.
Producer Brett saw Toy Story 4.
I saw it too. Great.
Mitch, stop it.
Toy Story 4 is a great movie.
You guys can't hear him. Mitchell is saying very inappropriate things behind the scenes. So I saw Spider-Man Far From Home. That was incredible.
I actually haven't seen that yet.
Hot take. I liked it better than Endgame.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I need to see it then.
Yeah. And Endgame was awesome. That's how much I like Spider-Man Far From Home.
I just watched Glass.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
That'll mess with you, man. Yeah. It's a good movie.
Night Shyamalan's pretty good. All right, Joshua Duarte. Where in the East do you see the Miami Heat with Chris Paul?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Also, everyone type S in the comments to shame Tad for his mistake.
Oh, Tad.
Yeah. Oh, double S because they didn't even realize it.
Producer Tad.
Very sad.
Where do you see them with Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler?
Top six. All right, Steve's question here. Where do you rank Chris Paul as a point guard? Top 10 or top 15? Neither.
Not top 10. I'm trying to think of the 15. All right, let me think of these. Let me run through these in my head. I would take, this isn't in any particular order. This is just me thinking.
Off the cuff.
I would take Russell Westbrook over him. Kyrie, Kemba Walker.
Trae Young.
Jamal Murray. Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Beverly.
Yeah, I'd take Beverly over
Oh,
him right
yeah, he's
now.
definitely not top 15 then for you.
Ja Morant. I would rather have Ja Morant right now.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox. Damian Lillard.
Ben Simmons.
I'll take Ben Simmons over Chris Paul.
Lillard.
Ooh, that's 12. I said Lillard.
Did you get Conley in there?
No, Conley, that's 13. Give
you
me
get
2 more, Tom.
Did you get Lowry in there?
Oh, Kyle Lowry. I'd rather have Kyle Lowry than Chris Paul.
SGA.
And Shai Gilgeous, that's 15.
Does Drew Holiday count as a point guard?
Oh, yeah, okay, there's 16.
So not top 15. There you go. All right, Noah wants to know if Chris Paul can be a member of the New York Knicks.
Not until like December 30th,
You have to wait till
or 15th,
15th,
whatever
December
it is.
15th.
You got to wait, but I do think New York would try to get him. I honestly do, because they're so desperate for a star and they're not willing to wait, as you can see, because they paid Julius Randle a ridiculous amount of money. They went out and paid all these guys, and then people became available and they didn't wait. They weren't patient. I think they would do the same thing if Chris Paul became available near the trade deadline.
You could work out some combination of players involving Marcus Morris. That's funny. Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, Elfrid Payton, Wayne Ellington. And that'll get you to the money you need. And I think the Thunder would have interest in that because that's basically a salary dump for them.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Rapids Roman says Chris Paul to the Bucks.
I'd also take Eric Bledsoe over Chris Paul. No, I'd rather have Eric Bledsoe than Chris Paul right now.
You'd have to include Eric Bledsoe. You could do Ersan Ilyasova, and God, you're probably gonna have to trade George Hill too.
The Thunder would not accept that.
That barely works.
And that's 4 years of Bledsoe, 3 years of George Hill, and 2 years of Ilyasova. Like Thunder
that's
aren't
bad
gonna
for
do
OKC. All right, Muhammad Ahmed wants to know if a buyout is even possible.
I genuinely don't know how that works with guys with multiple years left on their contracts.
He can say, yes, I'll take less, but also there's no way that Chris Paul, a very prominent member of the NBA PA, is going to say, yes, you know what, or I guess it's NBPA. Yeah, that's it. Is going to say, yes, I'm going to take way less after I made a big point to get the Supermax for myself.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
So it's technically possible. He would rather stick in Oklahoma City and get $120 million or whatever it is over the next couple years.
I think so too, and just kind of run the point there.
Yeah. Giveaway for you guys from our friends over at MyBookie. Use chatsports.com/NBA now and use promo code CHATNBA for a 100% deposit bonus. So what that means is you put down $50. MyBookie's going to give you an extra $50 for free to bet with. And after you sign up and deposit and place your first bet, you'll be betting on the NBA MVP or betting on the NBA Finals, whatever. Email us at promo@chatsports.com. That is promo@chatsports.com. And you'll get an NBA jersey. And a legit one, too. Not one of the knockoff ones that cost, $10.
Yeah.
Legit jersey.
Hey, maybe you want an Oklahoma City Thunder Chris Paul jersey. Then there you go.
That could be a collector's item, though.
That would be a collector's
so
item.
that's value there, Jimmy. Now you're thinking.
Like the Oklahoma City, he played in Oklahoma City for when New Orleans had to move because of Hurricane Katrina. And
one
of my friends actually has an Oklahoma City Chris Paul jersey from back in the day.
That's crazy. All right, Kimberly Marie wants to know about Chris Paul to the Mavs. Jimmy sold. Next question.
Kimberly,
be nice.
That is not going to happen. The Mavs don't want it to happen, and I don't want it to happen. I don't think that makes any sense whatsoever. Don't take the ball out of Luka Doncic's hand. Money-wise, you can make it work with the two horrible contracts of Tim Hardaway and Courtney Lee.
Tim Hardaway and Courtney Lee for Chris Paul straight up. It works. Who says no?
The Mavs. They're not taking the ball out of Luka's hands, and they're not paying Chris Paul. Chris Paul is 37. Luka will be 23. That doesn't make sense.
All right, Connor Brombo wants to know, when do you think Chris Paul retires?
At the end of his contract.
Wrong. He plays for one more year afterwards with LeBron and Bronny Jr.
Oh, I didn't think
That's
about
what
that.
they do.
Does Chris Paul have kids?
Yeah, he has kids. I don't think they're old enough though.
Oh yeah, he's got that one little kid that
they bring back the banana boat and the mini boat of Zaire, Wade, and Bronny all somehow play together, and LeBron and Chris Paul and D Wade roll back for one more year, and then super out of shape Melo comes in and plays one more year too.
Wow. Yeah, Melo.
There you go. And it'll be for a random crappy team that just wants to sell tickets.
Yeah.
All right, Holton Newburn, how possible is Chris Paul to San Antonio?
Okay, well, they have 19 guards.
They
on
do
their
have all the
roster
guards
right now, so not likely. Possible. Again, I don't know because his contract is so ridiculous. But if we're just talking basketball fit, I don't like it.
If you wanted to wait for Rudy Gay, you could make that work. I don't know why that would make a lot of sense, though, for the Spurs.
Do they have to wait for him because they re-signed him?
Yeah, they have to wait.
Okay.
You would pretty much have to include one of DeMar or LaMarcus Aldridge, unless it's going to be like Patty Mills, DeMarre Carroll, Bellinelli, and Rudy Gay, or some combination of 3/2 of those if you include Gay.
Again,
or not.
San Antonio has nothing that the Thunder want.
All right, Glenn Michaels with an idea here. He says John Wall for Chris Paul.
Now, this is interesting.
I am intrigued.
Let's say the Wizards really want to win right now. They're like, hey, Bradley Beal, we're going to put a team around you.
It works from a money perspective.
John Wall says, or the Thunder, like, yeah, we'll take injured John Wall because you can trade an injured player as long as the other team knows about the injuries. If OKC says yes, Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, Rui Hachimura.
Maybe it's an 8 seed.
Maybe.
That's pushing it.
It's definitely interesting.
I think both teams say no.
I think so.
Because that John Wall contract's even longer. It has an extra year on it.
The Thunder called the Wizards, hey, you want Chris Paul? And then the Wizards are like, well, hey, you want John Wall? And they're both like, well, nope. And they both hang up together.
Yep. All right, guys, make sure you are subscribed to us here on YouTube. 130K is the next number. We know a lot of you guys watch that aren't actually subscribed, which is always weird to me. Like, you watch all the time, but you're not subscribed. So let's get that rectified here. Subscribe. Hit that big red button on YouTube. Get us to 130K.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I mean, unless you hate America. That's what
I hear.
I feel like that's a fair comparison. All right, Deshaun wants to know about Winslow for CP3 for Winslow, Dragic, and Waiters.
See, this one I like a little bit more than the one you threw out there for the Thunder. But I don't know if
There's a reason why I didn't do it, and I think it was money. Let me double check my notes here.
Really? Waiters and Dragic don't get it? Oh, wow.
Because the Heat are hard capped.
Oh, you're right.
So they have to. They can't do the 125 plus 100K rule. They have to have it at least matching.
Dang.
So I think it's off by just a little bit. Let me double check. Oh no, it works. Never mind.
It works.
It works. I'm wrong.
Okay. Well then,
that works.
Ooh, that's tough. I wonder if both teams.
That one works there. Tad's shaking his head yes.
I think the Thunder have to maybe throw in a pick, like one of the multitude of picks that they got back, like a couple seconds.
I think if you're shipping out Winslow as a part of that trade, the Thunder have to include picks.
Yeah, I think
plural,
so too.
because Winslow is actually a positive asset there.
I mean, think about that.
That's
lineup.
why I did include Winslow. I forgot it.
That's like
going to do it.
That's fun for the future. SGA, Justice Winslow, Steven Adams, like that's pretty good young big three.
All right, Giuseppe wants to know about a Chris Paul trade for Ben Simmons.
Giuseppe.
Yeah.
What's up? Chris Paul trade for Ben Simmons. No, I think the 76ers hang up the phone as soon as they say the words Chris Paul. No, that's not going to get it done. Oklahoma City would love it.
That'd be a huge deal for them.
2 point guards that can't space the floor, though, in SGA.
They'll trade one of them.
Simmons.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, Shay Yang says, if Paul goes to the Bulls, do they become a contender in the East?
That's interesting. That's an interesting pairing, because if you go, again, this is, put money aside for a second.
Okay,
and
money aside.
You go Chris Paul, Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter. And I think maybe you'd have to give up either LaVine or Wendell to make that work, for Oklahoma City. I think that's not, I don't know about a contender, but it's a playoff team, I think, in the Eastern Conference. I think Chicago could be really good.
In reality, you kind of have to include LaVine in a trade, unless you wanted to wait and the Thunder were willing to take Thaddeus Young, Satoransky, Felicio, and Chris Dunn. Oof. And I don't know if they want to do that.
If you're Chicago,
that's decimated your depth.
If you're Chicago, do you want White off the ball for Chris Paul? I don't know if that's worth it.
It's fair. All right, Ed Ciso says, should the Thunder package Steven Adams with CP3 in a 3-team deal?
That is a lot of money. But in a 3-team trade, it makes some sense. Now, I don't know who goes where and for what money and what team is willing to take on all that salary. But if it gets it done, I think the Thunder would be open to trading Steven Adams.
David Arrington says, how about the Pelicans for Drew, Favors, and a pick? Let me check the math there real quick. It should work out pretty close, though.
Again, I don't think the Thunder say yes in that situation.
That definitely works out from a money perspective. But yeah, I don't know if that works really well for the Thunder.
And then the Pelicans are rolling out a lineup of CP3, JJ Redick, Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes, and
Lonzo.
Brandon Ingram. Yeah.
All right, iSpace C says CP3 for Wiggins. What do you say?
If I'm the Thunder, I say yes.
Okay.
If
you're the Timberwolves.
If I'm the Timberwolves, I hold off on that trade.
Okay, so that's that, folks. Again, if those are our Chris Paul mailbag here. Great ending right there. If you guys missed anything, our other NBA duo rankings or our NBA trade rumors, stay tuned. We'll put this on loop for you guys coming up right now.